work life. You know, there's plenty of work around here, but the quality of living around here, it's too busy, too much traffic. It's as bad as California. Just want to go someplace weather's a little more consistent. Someplace in the South, not too particular.
But it's too expensive here. It's way
Yeah.
too expensive.
Very expensive to live here.
Okay, it's expensive, but is that part of living large?
No, we don't like that.
Yeah.
We have a good sized house that we got a lot of spare bedrooms that we don't use anymore. I still have my mom living with me. I'm trying to talk her into moving south somewhere just to get away from this big money pit.
Okay.
Hey, I would rather have an RV and just travel the whole United States.
Okay, and just do that for years or a few months or once in a while or something like that?
We could try it out for a year or two. If it don't work, we can always go back to a house. So
Those RVs get a little small after a while, don't they?
do.
Like, I mean, those bathrooms, or you take a shower like this, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Unless, well, there are some RVs, the $1 million RVs, if you've ever seen the giant bus.
oh, yeah, the big bus.
Their houses.
They're big. Have pretty big bathrooms and bedrooms and things in them.
Yes.
They even have real kitchens.
Yes.
They're amazing. Living large, Mr. White.
Living large to me is, I suppose it's the freedom to dictate the terms of my destiny.
Ooh. Living life under your own. What are those terms?
The terms would be more than enough, more than I would ever need to share, to have, and to say no as often as I want, to say yes when I want. I like looking at things like that in broader terms, because it goes to, what do you call success? And success is the same thing for me. It's doing what I want, when I want, and for who I want, and how I want.
Did you ever notice a lot of times the gurus were trying to get you to sign up, or any kind of motivational seminar and everything? Not all, but some of them stand in front of very expensive cars or in very expensive houses, and with the large house with the pool and the view of the ocean and everything like that. Why do you think they do that?
Try to motivate you to buy their product. If I can do it, you can do it, sort of.
This is what I have,
Yeah,
maybe,
you can.
and this is what you have. So do they use that as a means of persuasion?
Yes, and it works.
Oh, it works right. It works very well, doesn't it? That's why they keep doing it.
Mhm.
All the time. But they don't talk about the lifestyle as much. They show the materialism, but what about the lifestyle? Is lifestyle different from materialism,
Yeah, absolutely.
from the toys and everything like that?
Mhm.
I mean, I was born and raised in New York City. My parents moved when I was 16. They moved to New Jersey, to the country. I'm born and raised in Manhattan, and all of a sudden I'm in chipmunk country. Okay, and I didn't like it very much in the beginning. My whole world, my friends, playing stickball in the streets of New York. The sewer covers were at first base and home and everything, and I could always go and walk 50 feet in any direction and get a slice of pizza, and everything. All of a sudden, I'm in a place in the country where there's one little grocery store, and it's about a mile away. I've got to get on a school bus, not the subway anymore, school bus for 40 minutes each way every day to go to school and stuff like that. Complete life change. Guess what? Guess what I learned? I loved it. I love the country. I do. And,
Very
and
relaxing.
it's so living where you live, that's a pretty important part of the living large and dreaming, isn't it?
Mhm.
Absolutely. So does everybody live? So do we want to live in one particular place, or do we want to live in several places? Is that part of the dream?
Several places would be nice. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure.
You guys goes Hervik, and then Suzette and Nick, and then Troy.
Yeah, I think that the freedom to move around, that's all part of it as well. Just like
Freedom
Troy
to
was
move around. I love that.
Yeah, do what you want when you want. So yeah, traveling and checking out doing some traveling, and if you fall in love with a place, be able to stay there for a couple months, couple years, whatever you choose.
Mhm.
Suzette?
I second that. Yes. I second that. That's great. Yes.
Suzette and Nick joined us in Hawaii. Is it a year and a half? It got 2 years?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. And there's something so wonderful about, and the one thing I could think of is we were only there a week. I'd like to stay there like a month or so.
Yes.
Mhm.
I would love that, especially in like January, February, March, when the other parts of the country are cold and wet and snowy and everything like that.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't do it
Yeah.
again. Mhm.
Wouldn't it be great? Claudia and I live a part of mostly in California and Colorado. We're in North Carolina right now. But basically we love Colorado because it's country and it's beautiful there, and I like the outdoors and everything. But then when it gets a little dicey, 300 inches of snow a year, you get a little cabin fever after a while. You understand cabin fever when you lived in the mountains for a few months, and then you can go back to California or the Southwest somewhere. The Sun Belt is very popular in the winter, like Florida. And it's just nice to be in the sunshine again. That was always part of our dream, to have that choice to go back and forth or live where we wanted to live, depending on the weather and everything. How about the work we do? The work that's got all this lifestyle, this dreaming and living large. You've got to have the right job or business, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you're working for a regular job that you have to be somewhere physically, can you have that freedom we were just talking about living where you want to live?
It's tough to get that. You'd have to be applying for different jobs everywhere you go if you decide to stay there for an extended period of time.
Yeah. So big decision in living large and living in careers and everything is, do I work for somebody else who gives me a paycheck and has the right to tell me where they want me to show up? And control how much free time I have. Hey, boss, I'm going to take off a month and go with my wife and jump on the Harley and tour Maui, or Kauai. Not every boss is that flexible while they're still giving you a pay.
You're not allowed to do that.
I'm sorry, say again?
I say you're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that, especially when you're driving a bus in Newark, right?
Funny thing today it makes 7 years I've been in this place. I feel trapped here.
Really? Now where are you from originally? Weren't you from Georgia or something like that?
Nah, I'm still in New Jersey.
Oh, you're a Jersey guy. Okay, so am I. I love Jersey.
Yeah, so it has the best pizza in New York. I think it's the water.
It's the water.
Yeah, I think it's the water.
WADDDDR. It's the water.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And it's the coffee too.
Hey,
Coffee.
hey, Claudia.
It's the coffee. And we talk and we walk.
Yeah, his mother-in-law wants to speak to your mom.
That's how I did used to talk. I work at it.
Yeah, it's so funny when you go to people like when you go in different parts of the U.S. or other parts, and they'll go to you. Okay, what part of New Jersey are you from, or New York? It's so funny.
I'm from the north part.
Yeah.
It's funny because the North Jersey says that us South Jersey have an accent, but listen to you guys. You guys have a worse accent than us.
I went to South Jersey. Most people don't know this. South Jersey, near Cape May, Atlantic City, and all that. The natives down there actually have a slight Southern accent. I went to school with kids, Stockton State College, and I remember some of the kids from Cape May and stuff like that. They actually had a Southern accent.
I don't know. I have an accent anyway, so to me, everybody sounded normal until North Jersey was there, and then North Jersey sounded more like New York.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Davis, who are you? I don't know who you are. Oh, we had an invader.
Yeah.
I always love when sometimes strange people pop up in Zoom from
Really?
old invitations. Hi there,
Yes.
they click and go off. It's fun. Absolutely. So Philip, we're dreaming and living large. Where would you live? What would you do? What kind of work would you do? What would be the dream?
What would be the dream? The fact that I can go to Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, I want to go to the beach. Since I've been in Miami, it was nice there. You know, I think the water is a lot cleaner than up here is because due to pollution.
Florida water. I'm all I remember. My dad had a place in Fort Lauderdale, and
Yeah.
the water always smelled like old eggshells, as I recall. I've never heard anyone say the water in Florida is better than New Jersey.
My wife said it. My wife said it all the time. She said she loved it down there. You know, she didn't want to go up. She don't want to come back up here.
Florida has become extremely popular, and the real estate in Florida has a history of booms and busts.
Yep.
Going back to the 1900s, early 1900s. It's you know, Florida has a great history on that. But Florida today is particularly very popular to many people right now.
What makes it so popular? What makes it so popular?
I mean, that's a good question. I think the politics has a lot to do with it right now. We're not a political show here, and I don't usually like politics because I like to bring people together. And politics today, everybody's a little bit too sensitive.
Yes.
You want to start a fight at a dinner table? Talk about bring up politics, and I'm talking. This is after Trump. Okay.
Politics and religion. Yes, politics and
religion.
It's tax
sex, and do you know it'll start an argument faster than anything? The latest diet.
True.
Oh man, you start talking about intermittent fasting or
being a vegetarian. Say, I don't understand why people eat meat.
Oh yeah. You gotta get on a table with a vegan, a vegetarian, a pescatarian, and an omnivore and somebody who's on a keto diet trying to change them all. You're gonna have what do you want to do? What do you want to do to make this dream happen though? What's the dream? My dream was to live where I wanted to live, when I wanted to live, not to work for somebody else. This is what I worked for. It didn't happen magically overnight.
How long did it take you? How long did it take you?
Literally, my life started in my 30s, my early 30s.
So you same age as me?
Oh yeah. So 5 years ago. I lie about my age. I tell everyone I'm biologically 36.
And nowadays, anybody can claim anything. And
I mean, look at Nick. Look at that young man next to you, Nick. He's 36 also.
Oh yeah. I got a 36-year-old beard. What are you talking about?
I got underwear that's 36 years old.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. A little bit game won't hurt.
What about the practicality of it? Do you think you can work for somebody else or have a profession, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant? Do you think you can have that? Do you have to have the right profession to live large, to live well?
No.
Really?
I feel like the more people you solve problems for, the more money you can have. I think.
But don't you have to be? What do you guys think? Do most people have to stay in a certain geographic area, or have a retail location, or have to go to a certain place to work? Can you have that lifestyle when you have that required geographic area?
I think nowadays with the internet, everything is possible. You can live in Hawaii and still make a lot of money, or you can live in somewhere like Florida and still make a lot of money, because the internet nowadays have made it very possible to do more than one business or jobs, and you can still make it.
Yeah.
Make a lot of money for sure.
Perfect.
That's nowadays, and I'm 100% with that, Suzette. But traditionally, you would think that the people that live large, people that make money, like doctors, lawyers, they kind of they have to kind of stay put where their practice is, and they're also kind of they're having to stick to the state where they're licensed at and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm on board with Suzette though. Nowadays, you could work using the computer, laptop, Wi-Fi connection. And
But you have to have the right business, don't you?
you have to have the right business.
You got to
Yeah.
have the right business if you want to be that practical. We love talking about real estate
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
time. I mean, you can do real estate in your backyard. You can do it in a location 1,000 miles away if you want.
Mhm.
Very
And
true.
you know, and can you and today's tech, I always say today is I've never seen a better time to have this type of freedom and independence we're talking about, because the technology allows us to do this today so much easier.
But taking
Mhm.
those big jobs that like you're talking about, Herbig, nowadays with the internet, like I've seen plenty of doctors now that they still have their practice, but they're making more money online, giving advice to people and telling them, you know, check this out, or you know, talking about health issues and how to make it better. And because people
Yeah.
start following them, and they're seeing results, they're kind of, you know, then go and buy their products if they're selling any, or buy their books if they're selling any. So yeah, I do agree with that. When you have a brick and mortar, you're stuck in there. But with the internet, you can still make it possible where you can go other places and still make good money.
You have a point there. Yeah, definitely.
When I was a kid growing up in New York City, my dad had a little grocery store. That's what immigrants do. They come to this country. He went to nights. He didn't speak the language, but he went to night school to learn English. And he opened up a little grocery store, and that put food on our table for years and years. Okay, weren't rich, weren't poor, but, you know, survived very well. You know, that middle class we always talked about. And the thing I learned about it, though, is I never want to work that hard as my father. This man, you know, he had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, open up the store at 5. He stayed there sometimes till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Had to work weekends and stuff like that, Sundays and things. I mean, it was a tough life, and I respect it now. When I'm older, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't understand why Dad couldn't come to the baseball games or things that other kids' fathers were doing with him. You know, my dad was working and everything. So, you know, you take away from these life experiences, from your parents, from your environment, from the jobs you've had. I knew that I never wanted to be in a retail business from that one experience because I was locked in.
Mhm.
Do you think we need to be honest with ourselves about what we want to do, what we'd love to do?
Mhm.
If you're not honest with yourself now, you're gonna be, you know, you're gonna face the consequences later.
Yeah. Do you think that's a good point? Do you think we overlook the consequences? We'll say, man, I want that paycheck. I need that paycheck. I'll just put up with this thing. And then 5, 10, 20 years later, you're still at that same job that you hate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Have we,
happens.
you know, have we all done that trade-off? The money versus the lifestyle trade-off?
Mhm.
The dream. Have we all sold our soul a little bit sometimes so we could pay our bills and things like that?
Yes, true.
We're just trying to scale up too. Just sometimes trying to scale up. You think, yo, I want to be, you know, in my case, I'll say, you know, hey, I wanted to be flipping a certain amount of houses every, you know, whatever month or every year, and trying that. It's kind of like, I don't know if you want to take on that responsibility. At least, you know, I woke up one day and I was like, you know, from barely sleeping the night before, right? And I'm like, I don't want these responsibilities anymore.
Anybody ever have that feeling on Sunday afternoon around 4:30 and saying, oh, gotta go to work tomorrow. Oh no. I've had those jobs.
Yes.
I've
Yeah,
definitely.
You talk to a lot of people, and that's the first thing they say. If it wasn't because they pay me good money, I wouldn't be there right now. I'm like, well, is it really good money when you feel like that still, even making that kind of paycheck?
Is it worth it?
Right.
How many of us know people who worked at a job 20, 30, 40 years, did not love it? Notice the word I used. They did not love their job, but they did it so they could have that pension and that security, and one day leave their home where they didn't want to live the last 30, 40 years. And then they go to Florida or Arizona or New Mexico or something like that.
I have people here at this job right now. I have people here. I have an 86-year-old guy. He's been here for 50 years. He said he don't want to retire because he think he might die.
You're gonna die anyway.
No, he'll die faster.
You bring up a good point, though.
Yes,
Do you think it's important? Do you think longevity and good health is about doing something you enjoy while making that living, to have that living large lifestyle. Can we put it all, can we have it perfect? Can we have it all together?
Our world, we could. Our profession.
That's, I think, the attraction of real estate.
Well, I don't mean real estate. I mean more like being salespeople.
To me, you cannot insult me by calling me a salesman.
Okay,
I love sales,
apologize.
but it took me such a long time to get there.
Gotcha. I hear you.
Say that again, Hervik. I'm sorry.
No. I didn't understand if you were taking it as an insult or not, but you're definitely not taking it as an insult. I wouldn't.
No, I love, what is somebody, it's funny about sales though, when someone doesn't have a job, what's the one thing they go into when they need a job and they don't have one? What do they go into?
Retail sales, yeah.
They go into retail sales. Hey, that blue light of savings is, I used to do Kmart. I used to work at Kmart,
I did
in the
too.
order, I do the blue light of savings.
I did too in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, I did all kinds of jobs. And you know what? Those jobs, they were good experiences in a lot of different ways. A lot of them helped me to be where I am today. I think you have to have a variety of different experiences. I think the only person I know who knew what she wanted to do all her life was Claudia.
Oh, really?
Her grandmother was a nurse. Her mother was a nurse. I thought you said your grandmother or somebody. Okay. Somebody else in the family was a nurse.
Yeah.
She like helping people.
Yeah. The thing about it is she knew what she wanted to do.
Yeah. Some of us thought we knew what we wanted to do, but once we started doing it, we're like, maybe not so much.
It's nice to know, but most of us have to go through experiences.
That's okay too.
Yeah, good and bad. Exactly. That's why I loved real estate, because it allowed me the freedom to work from home. But it's a long learning curve to where it's financially practical also, isn't it?
It can be.
Yeah.
Also, you get to meet a lot of people who are in real estate, even if they're doing anything else, but the majority of them say that their bulk of money, of income, comes from real estate. So then it gives the rest of us like hope. Okay, so maybe if I start with one real estate today, maybe hopefully by the time I get to be their age, I can say the same thing.
Real estate is not a get rich quick business.
Right.
It is a get wealthy slowly business. Absolutely.
It's like going to college forever because you never stop learning.
Some people do go to college forever. They love going to college forever.
Yeah, I know. I have somebody like that.
Yeah. Why do you think professors love college so much? Tenure.
Because they like teaching.
They like to, well, do you think they like teaching or they like security?
The second thing.
Yeah, it's everything. They get a lot of time off, and teachers get a lot of time off, don't they?
They do.
Unfortunately, a lot of teachers got over the last year off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them had to do online. They had to do online, virtually, like teaching online.
Yeah, Mike's son's going to college online right now in his master's program. Yeah. So it's interesting. So it's got to be practical. How about enjoyment? Can you do to have that life you want? You want to do something that you enjoy, you look forward to. You don't get that Sunday afternoon blues.
Sure.
To me, I love sales only because I finally learned how to. You never totally master sales because you can never really read other people's minds. You never know what they're thinking. You can take some reasonable, practical leaps of faith once in a while. Say, gee, if I was in their shoes, well, how would I feel right now? That empathy thing we talk about all the time.
Yes.
And everything. But it's pretty good to use the technology, to use Zoom in real estate or any other business and have those persuasion skills. It's a pretty good mix. As long, basically, I've worked in my car. I'm working on a kitchen table right now. I can work anywhere.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this. That's why it's so appealing, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So I'll give you guys the last word. Let's go around the room. What's the dream? Hervik?
I think I'm living the dream, Claude. I think I'm living it.
Okay.
You know, there's
You've achieved, you're at the mountaintop. You've achieved, you're where you want to be. You're living the way you want to live.
there's more improvements that I want to make, but I got to be grateful for you know, for my life, my situation right now, you know. But yeah, there's always improvements that could be made. You know, I could be in the Dominican Republic right now, but right now, you know, I'm in Miami. You know, Philip said he wants to be in Florida. I'm in Miami. I was able to come down here and hang out with my mom since December. The pandemic, she turned 75. She's by herself, and because of the freedom of what I do, I'm able to do that. You know, I wake up grateful every morning for that. And real estate is part of it, but also being in sales and being able to do this on the phone over the computer is, you know, it's just a big part of it.
The freedom thing is big, isn't it? To do what you want when you want.
Yes.
100%.
How about the peace of mind, going to bed, not worrying about bills and things like that?
I mean, I still have a little trouble with that, but you know, I'm getting there.
Yeah, that was always a biggie for me. Just,
Mhm.
you know, getting everything is paid. That was my biggie. Suzette and Nick.
Well, we have two different ones, but mine, mine is very similar to what Herbert was saying. You know, I'm really blessed to what we currently have, but yeah, I want to that debt thing. I do want to take care of it. So that's a big improvement that I do want to see, and then get my RV and start traveling, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know, go. From my point of view, it's like I always struggle with not having steady money coming in. So like I'm in a point right now, it's like I'm actually getting ready to go back to work someplace so we can have steady income and some medical coverage and some of those things. Now, how long that'll last, I really don't know, because I just want to get to a point where we can transition from that into not having to do that. And so it's kind of hard sometimes. And I think, again, because I was brought up a certain way, my family had a small business they ran and they worked every day of the year. It was a towing business. So you're always available and, you know, always working, but they used the towing business to purchase some land and had a little bit of a windfall. So that's helped, especially support my mom in her later years. So we know that can work. It's like we keep waiting. When's the big one going to hit? So yeah, that's a struggle we have. And Suzette's really doing the predominant work in the real estate and other ventures that we do outside of the W-2 income. So I don't know. It's I want to try to stay optimistic, but sometimes I get scared when those bills aren't getting paid too.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, Philip, I hope while you're driving that bus, be careful.
Nah, I haven't slept. I've been up mostly like almost for 22 hours already. I didn't really get that much sleep. I had the Mets and I had the Blue Jays. Yeah. So I'm a little worn out right now. I'm here.
Well, get yourself an espresso or something like that, or a Red Bull.
Nah, that's not gonna work. You're gonna mess with my heart.
Well, very good. Hey guys, I have to go. Thanks for joining me today. Just wanted to have a basic discussion about what's everybody else's dream. What's living large? What's living free?
This is great. It's great seeing everybody.
Great seeing you.
Yeah, good talking to you guys.
Philip, get some sleep, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna go right in the back of the bus and go night night. I'm gonna snuggle in my blanket. And go night night.
Okay. Take care.
Have a good day.
Enjoy the night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.